1 in 3. That's how many American men will face physical violence, sexual assault, or stalking by an intimate partner. 1 in 3 women worldwide will endure physical or sexual abuse, most often by someone they know. But domestic abuse isn't just bruises. It's manipulation, it's fear, it's control that seeps into every part of your life. I'm Ingrid Dutton, and I survived it. Then I created 1 in 3 so no one else has to suffer in silence. Each week, we break that silence together. Occasionally joined by survivors, loved ones, and experts, we talk about the pain, yes, but also about the healing, resilience, and the fight to reclaim your life. This podcast is more than awareness, it's a lifeline. And a reminder, you are seen, you are heard, you are never alone. Search for 1 in 3 wherever you get your podcasts, because every voice matters and every story deserves to be heard.
World Infertility Awareness Month is celebrated every June to increase awareness regarding numerous infertility issues faced by couples around the globe. This includes problems related to female as well as male fertility. Infertility is a term used for couples who can't conceive, as well as women who are unable to stay pregnant and often miscarry. While infertility can be tough on those experiencing it, a solution cannot be provided till awareness regarding the cause is spread. Based on a report by the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, there are over 1 million couples in the U.S. who are unable to get pregnant even after a year of trying. Good morning, sister.
Good morning, sister. How are you?
Good. I almost said I'm Ingrid. I'm Jessica.
I'm Ingrid. I'm the real Ingrid.
And this is another situation.
Welcome. And good morning to all of you fine listeners.
Fine listeners.
Good afternoon and good evening, wherever time of day you might be listening.
Yes.
I said wherever time, whatever time.
I think your point was understood. So, today we are talking to an old childhood friend of
Don't
ours.
say old.
A childhood friend of ours?
Yeah.
Well, like childhood was a long time ago, so that's why I said old.
But we're obviously not children.
Is it obvious?
Obvious that I am not a child.
So we're talking to a childhood friend of ours about her situation of infertility and adoption and fostering, and let's let her talk.
Right. And yeah. Now.
Do it.
I am Dawn Running, and I'm from Tomah, Wisconsin. Born and raised there. Go Tomah. I graduated in 1995, and I went to Chippewa Valley Tech School in Eau Claire and got my certification in childcare. And I spent about maybe 6 months in a group center and hated it. And my sister happened to move out to Connecticut to be a nanny, and she was babysitting for some people that were looking for a new nanny. And the mom was actually from Wisconsin. She grew up in Racine and went to UW Eau Claire. So she convinced me to move away from my parents, which I never in a million years thought I would ever do, and go to Connecticut. So I moved out there at the end of 96. And I spent 12 years out there. So wow. I was a live-in nanny for 2 years for that little boy. And then I went to live out, and I was with the Lucas family for 10 years. And those kids, Daniel wasn't even thought of when I started, and he turned 21 yesterday.
Oh my goodness.
And Hallie and Justin will be 29 and 32 in a couple of weeks. So yeah.
That's so creepy.
I know, it makes me feel super old.
Oh my gosh.
I was like 21 when I started with them, I think. So yeah. And then Krishna had moved back here after she started having kids, and she was getting mad because I wasn't following her like I did everywhere else. And then
How dare you?
finally, I had a relationship for like 5 years with this guy, and we lived together. And I found out he had been cheating on me for like a year. And so um, I stayed for 2 more years to prove that I could be out there without him. And then I
Hmm.
bought a house back here while I was still working out there so I would have the W 2. And then I moved back home and opened up my in home daycare. So,
Wow.
yeah.
That's amazing.
That's a lot. Did you already have clients kind of lined up before you moved?
Mom and Krishna kind of worked on making that happen for me. And my mom got the
Nice.
house all set up. So I had like renters in there for the last year while I stayed out there for 1 more year. And then my mom like painted and got me furniture because she's the most amazing mom and got me all set up. And Krishna advertised for me and got me some clients. And I moved home
Nice.
Memorial Day weekend of 2008. I got, I think, I think we got there on Sunday, either Sunday night or Monday, and I opened on Tuesday. So
Oh my
kids
gosh.
just kind of showed up with boxes surrounding everywhere. But
Are you in the same house that you bought? Are you using the same
nope,
one for your
we
daycare?
actually finally sold it
Okay.
last spring.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So
Nice.
Your childcare actually precedes all of that because I remember we were trying to get like a babysitters club going or something, didn't
yes,
we?
we
We're
did.
such nerds.
And I babysat Nissa and Cassia every Saturday. I know you came with me quite a few times. And actually, Cassia's baby ended up being one of my very first clients.
Oh.
That made
How
me
many
feel
kids do
really
you have
old
now?
too. Huh?
How many kids do you watch at your daycare?
So then I actually I moved the daycare to West Salem in 2013, and then eventually I went to just doing school years because my husband's a teacher. Um,
Mm.
and then last June, I closed down because a lot of my families were either moving or their kids were going into school full time. And I took a job at Cooley Christian School and I was the 4K surround care teacher there. And I did
Oh,
that
okay.
until December. And then we lost our childcare. And so I ended up having to resign and come back home. And I've been a stay at home mom now for the last 6 months. So
Wow.
that's where we are right now.
Lots of changes.
Yes. It's kind of odd since we're talking about infertility and now we're up
Hmm.
to three three adopted and one foster.
Well, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So I met my husband at the end of 2010. My dad actually passed away in August of 2010, and not even 2 months later, I got a message from Justin on Match.com. And it was a little weird. I feel like my dad had a little something to do with it because, like, a week before he died, he had said to me, Dawn, I just maybe marriage just isn't in the cards for you. And this is just how it's going to be. And that's fine. You don't need to get married. And I was kind of thinking, well, thanks a lot, Dad. Like, you think nobody will put up with me or what? And then 2 months later, lo and behold, this guy messages me and he's a teacher in West Salem. And I was so busy with life at the time. I was super involved in church. I was a youth group leader. I was the nursery director. I was running the daycare. I was involved with the lacrosse JCs. So I was going there all the time for meetings and just had a really busy life. And we started talking end of September, beginning of October, and we didn't actually get a chance to meet until beginning of November. We finally had a random Tuesday night off. He was a basketball coach and he happened to not have a game. And so we met at Pizza Hut in Sparta because it was
Faith?
right in between the two towns
Yeah.
and we both like pizza. And
Mhm.
it was a public place so that I didn't have to be weirded out by this
I
guy.
like it.
So Went there and had a great date. I think we talked about foster care even that night, because I had always wanted to adopt an older child out of foster care. I had no idea what that meant at the time at all or what I was getting myself into, but I had wanted to do it even before I knew I couldn't have kids. So, um, and then we saw each other maybe 3 more times before Christmas, but then he had off and we really got to start hanging out a lot. And by February, I was in love. And
Oh,
so, and then in October, we went away to Door County for a weekend and we decided we wanted to start trying for a family. And so we started trying then. And then we did a 2.5 week road trip up and down the eastern seaboard. So we went from Wisconsin, stopped in Ohio at the Football Hall of Fame, all the way up
mm,
to Niagara, and then down, hit Connecticut to visit the Lucases, and then hit Maryland and Virginia and North Carolina and Tennessee, and came all the way back up. And we
that's
had
amazing.
all these millions of beautiful, romantic locations in which to propose, and he did not. So, about a week after we got home, we went to his sister's house and she made white chicken chili and he proposed to me at dinner with no fanfare at all. None.
Jeez.
So romantic.
So
He was
romantic.
psyching you out.
And he's
That
like,
whole trip was just
well, I
psyching you
didn't
out.
want you were gonna expect it on the trip and I wanted to do it when you weren't gonna expect it. I'm like, that's fine, but you could have like been a little more romantic about it. So
Oh, that's funny.
but if we had been trying since October. This was August and still nothing. So we knew we were going to need to see an RE. So we let's see, we
Can I?
planned the wedding in 3 months.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah,
Oh my gosh.
we
When you say you were trying, were you just not preventing or were you tracking
we were
things?
tracking, we were doing
Okay.
temps, paying
Okay.
attention to ovulation, um, all the timed intercourse, all that fun stuff.
And how old were you at the time?
I was 34. So
Okay.
already
Sorry, I
heading
said I
into
wasn't going to
advanced
interrupt, and here I am.
maternal age.
Yep.
Mm.
So, yep, we got engaged August 1st. We got married November 3rd
Oh my
of that
goodness.
year. And then because he had a big life event, he could put me on his insurance.
Mm.
So we got that done. And then we started at Mayo over Christmas break. And they did some testing. He was fine. I had been having problems since probably 15. I had started having really heavy periods. I would have it like 3 weeks at a time and then have a week off. I had horrible, horrible cramping. Um, and I think they put me on birth control at like 15 or 16 just to help with
Mm.
all of that. Um, so I should have known that there was something going on, but the word endometriosis was never, ever mentioned to me, ever. And then Mayo really wasn't doing a whole lot. They kind of sent us out and said, well, do 3 more months of timed intercourse. And then we came back, and I think we did one IUI with them. Um, we did
What's IUI? I'm sorry.
the intrauterine. It's been so long now.
Is
I don't
that like
even.
were
It's
they
like artificial insemination
okay.
is the
No
old
one can see
word
what I'm
for
doing.
it.
That's an
Now it's
injection.
called IUI.
Okay.
Um,
Gotcha.
and they'd also done the where they push the saline through to see if your tubes are plugged or anything like that.
Mm. Okay.
And that was all fine. So that IUI did not work. I think that was in April or May of 2013. And then we decided to move over to Gunderson because they had a bigger fertility department and we had heard really great things about it. So we went over there, and by my second cycle, my Dr. Ryan was 99% sure I had endometriosis, but there's no test for it. You have
Mm.
to basically get laparoscopy done to see if you even have it. So that was scheduled for the end of May, I think, of 2013. And I ended up having stage 4 endometriosis. So it was on my intestines, my kidneys, my bladder. It was everywhere.
What? Excuse my ignorance. I don't quite know what that is.
It's when your uterine tissue grows outside of your uterus.
Oh,
So
that sounds painful.
it is. It is very painful. I
Okay.
would get, as soon as ovulation was over, I'd get cramps from then until maybe a few days before my period would start.
Oh
And
my
they'd go
gosh.
away and then they'd start again with my period. I was probably taking a bottle of ibuprofen a month, maybe
Mm.
every 2 months until I found essential oils, and then peppermint oil really helped. That's what ended up getting me through all the cramping. Um, and that helped. The surgery helped. And they say for 6 months after the surgery is when you'll be most fertile. So we tried, I healed until August. We tried an IUI, it didn't work. Tried another one, and I ended up with cysts, so we had to cancel it. Um, we started with letrozole, and then we ended up having to move to injectables. Um, you would have to take these pills for like 5 days or the injectables for 5 days. And then right before you were going to ovulate, Justin got to stab me to make me ovulate. And he always seemed to get really great pleasure out of giving me that shot. I was like, why are you smiling so much about this? I don't know.
Secrets to a happy marriage.
Right? Stab your wife with a needle. And then in November, at the time, we had started going to a small group through church, and we had sat behind these people at a marriage retreat, and they had a tiny little baby with them, like week old baby, teeny tiny baby. And I heard them talking about adoption. And I turned to Justin and I was like, I'm pretty sure they just adopted that baby. I'm like, I really want to talk to them. Well, they did a small group to coincide with this marriage conference. And when we came back to like figure out what group we were going to be in, it turned out that couple was one of the hosts of one of the small groups and they lived in West Salem,
Hmm.
like very close to us. So we got in their small group and we started talking to them about adoption. And they told us they went through Lutheran Social Services, which they had an office right here in La Crosse. And we started getting all the information from them. We went and we talked to Lutheran Social Services and really started thinking about it. And then on November 2nd, there's this thing called Orphan Sunday. I don't know if your churches have them, but it's a global day. And it's mostly just to get the information out about orphans all over the world and what we as Christians can do to help them. And we were worshiping before service started. And I'm pretty sure this is the only time I've actually heard God in my ear. And I could just hear him telling me it was time to just stop spending money on treatments and it was time to move to adoption and help a child that was already going to be on this earth. So we stopped all fertility treatments and we called the adoption agency and told them we wanted to move forward. And they did. They only let a certain number of families in a year. They had a lottery in January and they'd put in all the families' names that wanted to move forward and they'd pick however many spots they'd have. And on December 14th of that year, or that next month, December 14th, I woke up and I was going to start some stupid weight loss pill thing. And I was like, I think I'm a couple days late. I'm like, hi, but I have one test left. I'm just going to take it. I'm sure it's going to be negative. It's like super early on a Sunday morning. And I took the test and it turned positive immediately. And I started screaming. It woke poor Justin up and he was freaking out. He's like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" I'm like, "No, what's right? We're pregnant." And we were overjoyed. Like I couldn't even wait a day to tell my mom. We did this whole ruse and told her we were bringing her an early Christmas present, and we wrapped up a onesie and took it to her and had her open it. And my sister and nieces and nephews were there, and they totally like mom got it right away, and it took everybody else a minute, but everybody was so excited. And then we got to go over Christmas break because we were with an RE. We got to do a 6-week ultrasound to check for the heartbeat, and there was no heartbeat. And they said, "Well, it might just be too early. You might not have the dates right." And so we went back at like 7 weeks, 2 days, and there's still no heartbeat. And then I miscarried somewhere in the 8th week.
Oh
So
my gosh.
that was that. And then a couple of weeks later, we got a call from the adoption agency saying that we were picked to move forward. So,
Whoa.
yeah,
What a roller coaster.
there was a lot of emotions going on. In fact, I couldn't fill out the paperwork. It took me till August to get everything done that I needed to do because I couldn't do it. We wanted to go that route, but I was just grieving. It took me
Mm.
a few months before I
Yeah.
could even start the paperwork. So
Did you have to do any paperwork ahead of time to get put on the lottery, or what were the requirements to be?
I think we just had to fill out an application, and we might have had
Okay.
to do a application fee.
Okay.
So not a whole lot. We didn't really have to get into it until we were actually picked.
Yeah.
Did you have second thoughts, like maybe wanting to delay it because of the recent events leading up to it?
I didn't want to delay it. My heart just needed a little time before I could start really going because it's a lot to adopt.
Mhm.
I Unpopular opinion, I'm sure. I don't know because I don't share it with a lot of people. But I feel like if anybody that was expecting had to go through what an adoptive parent has to go through, we'd have a lot less trauma out there, at least extensive
Mm.
trauma. I mean, there's always trauma with adoption, whether you get that baby at birth or not, just because they're leaving their mama that they've heard for the last 9 months. But, um, we had to have background checks with every agency. I mean, West Salem, La Crosse County, City of La Crosse, State of Wisconsin, the FBI.
Oh
Um,
my gosh.
we had 2 pages of questions that we had to answer about our philosophy on parenting, our how we grew up, how our parents parented us, um, how our relationship was, how our marriage was, how do we deal with um, problems. I mean, just extensive interview questions and so much stuff. So, but we got that done by August. And we took the classes we had to take in August and we went into the book, which is just a portfolio. We had to make like an 8-page book of who we are, pictures, why we wanted to adopt, things like that. And then we did that. And then in December, we got a call. And we were technically foster parents at that time because in
Mm.
Wisconsin, at least, you have to foster for 6 months, even if you're adopting, even if the parents choose you and you're adopting that way. You're technically a foster parent for the first 6 months before you can finalize.
Hmm.
So we had our foster license through Lutheran Social Services, and we got a call in December of that year from Vernon County, which is like Viroqua, Westby area,
Okay.
asking us to take Justin's little cousin's 17-year-old half sister because she had been kicked out of group home. and they had no place for her to go.
Hmm.
So we said we would. And then the mom wanted the little cousin to move in with us too. She was with a different aunt at the time. And so then we got a 5-year-old. So we had a 17 and a 5-year-old.
Okay. And you've been married for just over a year?
So we'd just been married 2 years
Okay.
by the time this happened.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was a year after our miscarriage
Hmm.
that they came to us.
But that's still so much to go through within the first 2 years of our marriage.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was just so focused on like getting this family and getting these children that we wanted that I didn't take the time in those 5 years that it took to really enjoy the freedom that we had with our children. And I did not fully appreciate it until they were here. So my advice to anybody going through infertility, don't be so focused on getting the kids that you forget to enjoy the freedom that you have prior to that, because there's goodness in that too.
Mm-hmm.
But you get so focused on the babies that you forget. So.
And then once the babies come, whichever way they come, then
that's it.
There's no time.
No, it's all about them. It's all about them. So
when you get put on the wait list for adoption, is it for a baby or is it for does each age group have a wait list?
With Lutheran Social Services, it was for a newborn.
Okay.
So we would get baby right from the hospital in most instances.
Okay.
So, so we had until she was turning 18 February 12th. And at Christmas, we had given her my old iPhone because Justin had gotten me a new one. And that was probably our biggest mistake because she unfortunately got back in touch with some not so great people and spiraled downward. And about a week before she turned 18, she kind of went rogue on us one morning. She wasn't showing up. She wasn't coming home. She wasn't doing what she was supposed to do. So I went in and she wouldn't give me the phone back. So I went in to wake her up for school and the phone was sitting on the charger. So I took it off the charger so that we could take it back. And she came after me. And luckily, Justin was coming out of the bathroom as she was just about to me and blocked her from hurting me. But she unfortunately went in the living room, destroyed. That's where my daycare stuff was. And she just tore the living room apart. I had a parent showing up at the time and I had to meet him outside and take him into the garage until Justin could get her out of the house. And it was just insanity.
Oh my, and terrifying.
It was terrifying. It was terrifying.
And she's pregnant.
Her mom was. She was not.
Oh, her mom was. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Justin got her out of the house into school and we called the social worker and just said, you need to come and get her. This is not safe. It's not safe for us. It's not safe for my business. And we felt horrible. But prior to starting foster care, we had absolutely no trauma training. We had no clue how to handle that situation at all. And so the social worker went to get her at school and she took off. She showed up back at our house. It was nap time for the kids. I had luckily locked all the doors that morning, which I normally didn't. I had an open door policy so parents could walk in anytime they wanted. But I did because of what had happened that morning. And she came and tried to get in. She was screaming profanities. She was ringing the doorbell over and over. I had to call the cops. It was an interesting foray into foster care.
And this is with kids.
So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yep. So.
And then, and her little brother
her
was
little
also with
sister
you?
Was with us.
Little sister.
Yep.
Okay.
She was 5 at the time. So.
Okay. Whoa. Okay. And then, so social services took the 17-year-old.
Well, she took off. So she ran
Oh,
away.
No.
They didn't catch her before she ran away, and she kind of just stayed in hiding with friends until she turned 18 at the end of the week, and then she went back to mom. So
Okay. But then you still had the
we
5-year-old.
still had the 5-year-old.
Okay.
And then in June, Justin Oz did the end of the year Washington, D.C. 8th grade trip. He always chaperoned it every year. And while he was in DC, we got a call from the adoption agency and said, we have a mom. She's due in July and she wants to meet with you guys. So I called him to tell him the news. And when the day we went to meet her, which was yesterday in 2016, baby sister was born. And so the mom that wanted to meet us for adoption chose us. And we were
Yay.
bringing Rosie home from foster care. And we had like a small car. Like we just had like a 3-row SUV, and all of a sudden we were going to have a 6-year-old and 2 newborns that were going to be born
my
within a month and a
gosh.
half of each other.
Oh my goodness.
So we went and bought just like a old minivan. We didn't spend a lot of money on it, thank God. Because then 2 weeks later, the judge sent the baby to maternal grandma where mom was living. So basically, the judge just gave baby back to mom without
Mhm.
mom
The
having,
Fought
the
the
foster
foster
baby
baby.
to mom without mom having to complete her conditions or anything that she was really supposed to do.
Oh, wow.
Oh, so why did that did anybody file, like, why did he or she, the judge, look into things to make that decision?
We're really not sure. But then at that point, everybody was living with maternal grandma. So, except, so we were like,
Mm.
well, do you want to go with me and go live with grandma too? Or do you want to stay here? And she, of course, chose to go with her baby sister, which makes sense.
Mhm.
But now, 6 years later, back with us and back with the aunt that Lily was originally with.
Jeez.
So, yeah, so they went. And then 2 weeks before the baby was due, actually not even like 10 days before baby was due, we got a call from birth mom that she changed her mind. So we went from thinking we were going to have 6-year-old and 2 newborns to having no children at all.
Oh my gosh. That is devastating.
Yeah, it was. It was a rough summer. It's a very rough summer.
Okay.
Did she give a reason why she wanted to keep the baby?
She
Or
did. She had one son that she was raising that was like 4, but he was hard. He had, I'm guessing, ADHD at the least.
Mm.
And she didn't think she could handle 2. And I think she just got too into her head. Because then we got a text message from her in, gosh, like October, November of that same year, asking us to take the baby at that point.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So,
and how old was the baby
probably
at that
4 or
point?
5 months by then.
Okay. But just a text directly from her, not
Yep.
through any legal
Nope. Text
people.
directly from her.
Ooh.
But we couldn't because in September of that year, we got a call on September 22nd from our social worker saying, you've been picked. It's a baby girl. She's right here in La Crosse and she's already born. She was born yesterday.
Oh.
And you can come and meet her tomorrow.
Oh my gosh.
And I didn't even stay on long enough to get details. I said, I have to call you back. I need to go tell Justin. And I just happened to have a daycare parent walking in the house And I said, I need you to stay here. I have to run to the school, which was luckily only half a block away. And I ran to the middle school. I had to stop outside of it because I was so out of breath because I was so out of shape. And got buzzed in, and I went in to the office and told the secretary, I'm like, I need to see Justin right away, and I'm bawling, and she's like, oh my god. I'm like, no, it's a good thing, it's a good thing. And he was a phy ed and health teacher, so he was in the gym. And so we walked down there, and she went in to get him, and he came out, and all he could see was me crying. He couldn't tell I was smiling while I was crying, apparently. And they had unfortunately just had a death in their school the week before. One of their lunch ladies, and this is a national case, so you may have heard of it, was killed on the way to school. Just happened the week before that I came
That
in
was the
crying.
lunch lady.
And he's
Oh my
like, I
goodness.
can't take any more bad news. And I'm like, we have a baby. And he's like, what? So, yeah. So we got to go and meet her the next morning. She was in NICU because she was born between, mom didn't really have any prenatal care. She didn't even know she was pregnant until she was like 30 weeks. And she
Oh,
had
wow.
called LSS, but they didn't have time to ever get together. And this is actually the most amazing story ever. And you may have seen it on Facebook. You may have seen me post the recording of the nurse telling the story.
Oh, yes. Okay, wait. I don't want to be talking while you do this. But I know a lot of this because I've looked on Facebook, but I've kind of lost track of timelines and everything. But, oh my gosh, Jessica, be ready. This is so good.
It's a tearjerker.
Great.
So on the day, so she was born on the 21st, and we got the call the afternoon of the 22nd. But that morning, my friend Liz, who is a NICU nurse at Gunderson, which I don't even think I really realized that, but her and I had been youth group leaders together at church. And she did not usually work the day shift. She usually worked the night shift, but they were leaving on vacation. So she agreed to work the day shift one last day. And she said she came into work and she was just grumpy about the fact that she had agreed to even go into work. And she gets in there and she's told that there's a social case. And she was like, oh, I get a lot of those. They can be really tough. And baby is really cute, but she's being put up for adoption. And so she goes in there and she has a student with her and she tells the student, we're going to be really intentional with this mom. And she's in there and she's talking to her and she's trying to feel out when she should bring this up. And the social workers come in with all the books for her to look at to pick a family. And Liz was in there changing Annabelle now. It was Angel then. And she hears her say, oh, there's just something about this family. I haven't even opened the book yet, but there's just something about their picture. And the social workers were like, well, that's a pretty big feeling. You might want to go with that. And Liz turned and looked over her shoulder and saw Justin and I on the front cover. And she turns around and she just starts praying. She goes, I've never stormed heaven so hard in 10 minutes. And she was doing everything she could to stay in the room until she found out. But eventually she had to leave. And she went out to the nurse's station and she just started bawling. And all her coworkers are like, what is wrong? And she's like, she's in there picking out a family. And my dear friend Dawn is the front runner. And a little while later, the hospital social worker came out and she was like, did she pick a family? And she was like, yeah, she goes, the running? She's like, yeah. She's like, that's my dear friend Dawn and her husband, Justin. And so she knew we were going to be parents before we got to know. So yeah,
That is
it's
super sweet.
a super good story. So
I was crying as soon as you started telling it.
I know I can't get through the video without bawling. She tells it so much better, and much more detailed. But yeah, so it was meant to be all around. And we stayed in the NICU for 9 days, just because she just couldn't stay awake to finish her bottle. So we had to stay until she could finish at least 2 ounces without having to use the feeding tube. So
And what week did you say she was born? I know you said the mom didn't know she was pregnant until she was 30.
Yeah, she was
And
born
then
September 21st,
okay.
and we
And
got
was
the
she
call on the 22nd.
okay? And how old was she when she was born?
They
Which
weren't
week?
entirely sure. They thought between 4 and 6 weeks. They're guessing about 5 weeks early.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, she was
Wow.
Wow.
5'5" when she was born.
Oh,
So not super. I mean, not totally tiny, but tiny.
yeah.
Mm.
Cute. Yeah.
So
Did you get to meet the mom, or is that policy
we
where you meet
did.
the mom, or
Yep.
okay?
I had just started back to work because I was only doing school years. So I couldn't take any time off, but Justin had all this leave built up. So he would stay overnight and be there all day. And then he'd come home to coach football. And then as soon as I was done with daycare, I would go and spend all evening there. So she was there every day except for one day. So he really got to know her. Um, she's amazing. She's our hero. She's everything to us. We're still in touch with her. She used to come to the girls' birthday parties pre COVID. Um, she has, she had two older siblings. So Annabelle was the third. She has a son um, that's in his 20s. And then he was, 9 at the time, I think.
Mm.
Um, and then at the last birthday party she was at, which must have been 2019, October of 2019, because it was right before COVID. Um, she was pregnant and due right before Thanksgiving. So
Oh, wow.
she's got three. But at the time, she was taking care of her dad. He had stage 4 kidney disease. He had diabetes. He was not a nice guy. He was verbally abusive. And she did not want to bring another child into that. And it was
Hmm.
me as her full sister. So she already knew that dad wasn't super helpful with that. So she knew she wasn't going to have help there. And she just really wanted to bless somebody that couldn't have kids.
Hmm.
So she's amazing.
Wow. And one more time, what year was that?
That was 2016.
2016.
Yep.
Okay. And then at the time, you have no foster children
We have no
at the
foster
time.
children at the time. Nope.
Okay. And a day's notice of coming home with a baby.
Yes.
Okay.
It was more than we
And,
had with our next two.
right. And a full-time teacher and running an in-home daycare. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
My
So,
gosh.
but then we decided we still wanted to do foster care. But La Crosse County wouldn't use our license through LSS, and we couldn't close it out because we hadn't finalized adoption yet. And
Mm.
also in Wisconsin, in a lot of states, the parents can sign off on their rights in 48 hours, 72 hours, a lot of places. In
Mhm.
Wisconsin, they actually have to go to court and terminate their rights.
Oh.
And so from the time that baby is born until the time they go to court and do that, they can change their mind at any time. And it just happened that ours took 7 weeks before she got a court date. So, of course, we had to worry for that 7 weeks that she might change her mind.
Right.
Well, especially because you just went through that.
Mhm.
Yeah. But luckily, she did not. And we finalized on March 31st of the next year.
Hmm.
So, but then we went to Monroe County, since that's where I'm from. And we said, we have this foster license through LSS. Will you guys use it? Because we want to keep fostering. And within 2 weeks, we had a sibling set. We had a 10 and 11-year-old brother and sister. Again, we did not have enough training at all. They were some of the most traumatized kids that we've
Oh.
ever had. And she was with us until July. He left us to go to residential school
Mm.
where he could get therapy every single day. And he left for that. That was in Eau Claire. And he left there on the day we finalized Annabelle's adoption. But we stayed in contact with him. We went and visited him. Um, Things didn't end well with his sister, so they wouldn't let him come back and live with us, unfortunately. But he ended up going to a great foster family, and he's been adopted now. We still chat with him
Oh,
every once in
good.
a while. So
Mm.
Yay.
he's like
It's hard for older kids to get adopted,
it is.
right?
It is, yeah. And I think his sister has been adopted too,
Oh, that's good.
actually. But
Do you know, do they get to communicate at all, the
he
siblings?
said there's an order that they do not communicate. So yeah.
Yeah.
So then a year after we got Annabelle, well, actually a year and 2 weeks after we got Annabelle, we had just been asked to take a 9-year-old boy, like a couple of days earlier. And we had said we needed to really like think about it and pray about it because we had just had this not great experience with the sister, and we just didn't know if we were ready to take on an older kid again. And we had finally decided no, we weren't going to do it. And so I just let him know that morning. It was October 11th. And that afternoon, our foster care coordinator called me and she said, "We have a baby girl. She was just born 2 days ago. Will you guys take her?" And I said, "Yep." I didn't even ask Justin. He was still at school. It was like 2 in the afternoon. I didn't even give him an option.
He comes home from work, you're like, "Hey, look."
I'm like, "Yes, we'll take her." And I went to pick her up like 3 hours later. So,
Aw.
and he got home from
Oh, so
school.
he actually did come home from work
Yeah,
and you had him.
he did.
Yeah, I
He
was
came
just
home from
joking.
work and I was like, "So we're getting a baby girl, but you can still go hunting tonight. It's fine. Go ahead. But we're gonna have a baby girl here when you get back."
Wow.
So,
And Annabelle was 1.5?
not even. She just turned 1 2 weeks
Oh,
prior.
just turned 1.
Mm.
So, yep. So then we brought Mila home, and that was probably the most insane thing I've been through. It- Her mom was very mentally unstable. We were
Mm.
supposed to be undisclosed. She wasn't supposed to know who we were. She star 67 at work one time when I called to let her know how Mila was doing, and she got our number. She Googled, she found out where we lived. She threatened to come and steal Mila.
Oh my
She,
gosh.
at one time, I had like a panic button in our house from the police department that if I pushed this button, a squad car from any agency in the area would show up at our house. It was just 2 years
Wow.
of just insanity. Mila would dysregulate at all the visits. It was
Mm.
awful. It was awful.
Now this Mila was initially just foster? She
Just
wasn't
yep,
okay.
yep. She came to us as foster, but
Were you guys still up for like, what happened when you adopted Annabelle? Does the adoption application end, or are you still available as potential
nope.
adoptive
You would have to
parents?
reapply.
Okay.
Yeah. So that had closed out, and we had just switched our foster care license to Monroe County when the one with LSS got closed out.
Mm.
So, um, she came to us. There was visible in utero trauma.
Mm.
She would keep her arms and fists. I'm going to lose balance on my computer that's sitting on my knees. And she would just stay like this. I would only change her shirt if it was dirty because it was so hard to pull her arms away from
Oh.
her chest. Um, Once she started having visits with mom, she would, mom had like a lower smoker's voice. And so then any woman that we ran into after she started doing visits, she would cry if they had that low smoker voice.
Mm.
Um, so
So I have a quick question.
yeah,
With foster care and, with a child that has obvious trauma, do they automatically do counseling, or is that something as a foster parent you have to initiate?
you would think they would always automatically do counseling. Um, let's just say I've had for she's been with us since November, and she's just finally starting counseling this next week.
Wow.
And there's major trauma there.
That's awful.
That's how long it has taken us to get her in.
Jeez.
And that's because I was fighting for it, not because they just finally got with it.
Okay, so that's 3. And then you have 4, right? There's
We have
one
4.
more?
Well, so then after, so then we just had the 2 girls for a long time. We got a couple of like very short term foster kids
Mhm.
here and there, but nobody that they kind of went to other people really quickly. We were just kind of a short term placement.
Okay.
And then right after, well, about a month after the shutdown, we got a call for Vinny. And he was born in Toma, actually.
Oh.
And can you come pick up this baby boy? So I went. A few hours later, had to go get a new car seat because ours had expired. And then we barely used it because it was the pandemic. But hey, and brought him home. And I remember I got there and they said he was like 6'9", but he looked just as tiny as Annabelle. He
Mm.
was so small. And they're
Mhm.
like, well, he doesn't eat much more than 30 or 40 cc's at a time. A lot of times we can only get him to eat 20. And I remember
Mm.
thinking, why are you sending this child home with me? Annabelle had to eat
Yeah.
60 cc's before she could get out of NICU. What are we doing?
Good
So
question.
I brought him home and he was fine. They apparently just didn't know how to feed a baby. Never ate less than 2 ounces for me. We were fine.
Huh.
And he is a little chubba wub now. He just turned 2 at the end of
Oh.
April. So, and
Oh.
we adopted him right
Awesome.
before Thanksgiving. So that one actually went very fast in terms of
Mm.
foster care. His mom and dad ultimately made a really great decision and terminated their own parental rights for
Mm.
knowing that that's what was best for him. So,
Wow.
Do you always have the option to adopt if you're a foster parent?
uh, you also have the adoption if it, or the choice if it goes to adoption.
Mm.
But,
So if parents terminate their rights and
or if it's
child,
bad
okay.
enough that the courts terminate their rights.
Okay.
But it takes a lot. In Wisconsin, it's between 16 and 22 months. If they've been in care for the last 16 to 22 months and it doesn't look like the parents are doing what they need to do, they can start working towards terminating parental rights. So that's what happened with Mila. We had to go to court, and the court terminated because she would not do what was best for her child.
And that's why that process took so much
Yeah,
longer.
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a lot.
Are you guys still foster parents?
We are. Yep. So then the night before we finalized Vinny's adoption,
Mhm.
we'd gotten the call on Saturday. We finalized on Monday that something had finally happened. The aunt that is with right now has been calling CPS for the last 6 years since the girls went back home.
Oh.
She has taken them multiple times unofficially to keep them safe. I have
Mhm.
made a couple of phone calls to CPS when I have heard things going on in the last 6 years. My friend Ashley, who is his brother's mom, has made multiple calls to CPS when she's had evidence of things happening. And we just finally, 6 years later, something happened. Got to the neighbor's house and they called the police and they were finally removed again. So to us the night before Vinny was finalized. So she's with us now.
Wow.
And she's 12 now. Well, she was 11. She turned 12 in April.
And this is the mom that has two other
Yep.
of her siblings.
Yep.
Okay.
So, yes.
Okay. So you have 3 now officially adopted
Yes.
children and 1 foster child.
Yep.
Do you think her mom will terminate
No.
rights, or do you think this will be something that would have to go to court?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. And I sadly I don't think it's because I think she won't terminate her rights with because she wants
Mm.
and she very much lets know that. It's awful. Hasn't done a visit with her since beginning of April or
Wow.
talked to her. So
That's sad.
Does she ask to see her mom or talk with her?
no, she does not want to. It's her choice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, that's her choice.
Have you thought about if you're going to tell your kids about adoption?
We talk
Are you
about
going
it
to
all the
be?
time.
Oh, okay. So they're very.
Yep.
They know.
We have books on it. We talk about it. Annabelle doesn't remember, but she's met her birth mom and will
Mhm.
continue to have see them and let her get to know her. So yeah, they're very well, I don't know if very aware is the right word, but they're aware and we don't even hide it. We talk about it
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
yeah.
Hmm. Wow, Dawn.
So that's what's
Do you
been
think
going
you would?
on with me in the last 25 years since high school.
Wow.
Good Lord. Jeez. You've been busy.
Do you think you'll keep fostering and keep adopting?
Justin says no. We're done. I don't know.
Mm. Mm.
I keep telling him, "You're the one that said you wanted a basketball team, and we've got one more to go to get to basketball team status." So we'll see. I don't
Yeah.
know what'll
Mm.
happen.
Jeez.
It's hard. They keep me
Wow.
busy. With Mila's
Right.
diagnosis, it's hard.
Hmm.
So
Do they all get along fairly well together?
no.
Ah.
Annabelle and Mila butt heads like crazy. And then other times they'll play together great. Like right now, apparently playing pirates. But I think it started because Mila wouldn't play with others when things
Mm.
first started happening. She wanted to play alone. She was very into her miniatures, her little figurines, and she would line them up and she didn't want adults messing with her. She didn't want kids messing with her. Um, and so that was really hard for Annabelle because she wanted to play with her and Mila didn't know how. But now it's about half and half. Sometimes they'll play together really great, and then sometimes they're just fighting like cats and dogs.
Sounds like
And they all
sisters.
love Vinny. Vinny is
Aw.
baby and the charmer, and everybody loves Vinny. So
So what are their ages again?
12, 5.5, 4.5, and 2.
Ugh.
Okay. Wow.
Jeez. I think it's amazing that you can find out hey, you're gonna have a baby come home tomorrow and like have everything and get everything ready. That blows
Well,
my mind.
that was the adopted one. The foster ones were the same day,
Yeah.
Oh,
right? The
right.
babies were the same
Yep.
days.
Yeah. I know. I always
That's just
joke. I'm like, you people that get 9 months to prepare. Come on. Who needs 9
yeah.
months?
Rip the band-aid off. Let's do it.
Way too much time to worry about what's going to happen. Just give me a couple hours. It's fine.
That's amazing. And it's also amazing that you open your door to fostering. Not that many people do because of, the unknowns and the risks. That's just
Yeah. It's
you have a
hard,
big heart.
but it's rewarding.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's rewarding.
That's very cool. Very, very cool.
And they don't give you anything, right? You have to you said that the car seat, but a place to sleep and
Yeah.
everything like that.
There's a foster parent in Toma that opened up this. She has a nonprofit now called the Caring Closet, and she opened it up in the old post office building in Toma,
Hmm.
and it's in there. And she has people donate all the things. They donate furniture, they donate sheets, they donate clothes,
Oh,
diapers,
awesome.
bottles, formula, all the
Hmm.
things. Foster parents can contact Danielle and go and get just about anything they need. And
Hmm.
then they help out people that like have fires and stuff too. People in town that are just in need, they'll help out.
That's
So
amazing.
yeah.
Hmm.
So, but
Do you have any advice for people that are thinking about fostering or adopting?
take all the trauma informed parenting classes that you can. It will make your life not easier, but just will be so much more helpful on your journey. We did not do that until after
Hmm.
left us. Um, and I wish we would have had those right from the beginning.
Hmm.
Seek out support. Hopefully, your family will be supportive. My mom's a godsend. Anybody that comes into this house is another grandchild, no matter how long they're with us.
Ugh,
Um,
he's so awesome.
yeah, find people that'll babysit for you that you can call on at a moment's notice when you have a new kid came into care and you need a car seat or diapers. Or I had a friend come and stay with Annabelle while I went and picked up Mila that night. And
Jeez.
just get a village and
Hmm.
be prepared if you're choosing to adopt, to have the parent change their mind. It's
Hmm.
happened to almost every friend I have that is adopted. The first one changed their mind, almost every single one of them.
Wow.
Yeah, it's weird.
Ugh.
Well, I know you said advice for parents dealing with infertility is to, cherish the time that they have and not just focus on it. Do you have any other advice for parents
Yeah,
dealing with infertility? Okay, go ahead.
I would say look at all the products that you're using and all the food you're eating, and really try to get rid of anything with the parabens and the sodium oral sulfate and all the toxins that the US allows into our products that other countries do not. And really be mindful of what you're putting in your body, because I fully think that my eating habits and what I was using contributed to the infertility.
Hmm.
And advocate for yourself and what you feel is best for you,
Hmm.
for sure.
That's very good advice.
Hmm.
Well, and the question that you were warned about, what's your favorite self-care practice?
So I used to not have self care at all until about a year ago. Um, our babysitter, who I don't even know how that she was in Justin's class at school in the when she was in like 7th or 8th grade. And she just happened to be like, "Hey, if you ever need a babysitter, I'll babysit." And so we just started using her. And then it turned out, when we were trying to find a 3K program for Annabelle, that her mom was the 3K teacher at Cooley Christian.
Oh.
And because of the pandemic, West Salem kept going in and out of being open and closing and open and closing. I was doing daycare, so I couldn't take Annabelle to school, and the bus system wasn't running half the time to take her to school. So Hope's mom just started picking her up for me, and we ended up becoming best friends.
Wow.
And then we moved in September, and she's literally like 2 or 3 houses down and across the street. So now we get together most mornings and either have coffee or go for a walk. And just
Mm.
getting that time before all the kids get up and being able to have that, just somebody to talk to, has been great. So
That's
So have life outside of being
even if
a
you have
mom.
to get up really early to do it. Yeah.
It is so good to see you. You look really happy.
Oh, thank you. I am most of the time.
Good.
Never when they're doing that. But hey,
Yeah.
what can you
Yeah.
do? I prayed for this.
Totally.
We also joke about that all the time. It's a hard moment. We prayed for this. And when we spent a lot of money to get this.
Yeah.
But
Did it to yourself.
yeah. Yeah. But
Mm,
we love them and God blessed us big time. So
mm.
So happy for you, though. And you know what? I think you and Justin have like tested your marriage within the first. That's so crazy how much you guys went through in the first couple of years, let alone all the way up until now.
yeah. A lot.
Sounds like you guys found good matches.
I
Mhm.
think so. I mean, we have our moments as all marriages do, but I think we're just different enough and just the same enough that we work through it most of the time. And if we don't, we just kind of brush it under the rug and you're like, okay, we'll come back to that some other day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I mean, what?
All right.
Well,
Dawn,
thank
thank you
you.
so much. It's so good seeing you.
Thank you. It was great to see you guys.
It's good to see you
Yeah.
too.
All
Take
right.
care.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Bye. So that was a lot of lotsness. Good
And
Lord.
it was. And I'm sorry for repeating a lot of questions, but it was very difficult for me to keep everything straight.
No, I understand.
No, I mean the dates and then the names and all of that. I mean,
Yeah.
she put it all in Dawn put it all in a very perfect timeline. But, as we got further down the timeline, I was like, wait a second. So this happened when, anyway, you guys all just listen to it. I don't need to replay the questions for you
Please.
that I asked.
Everyone listening is like, please, dear God, Ingrid, no.
Don't do it again. Don't do it again.
We understood it.
How do we get her?
need.
How do we get Ingrid to stop talking? Oh, end.
Maybe
Fast
you need to
forward.
go back and listen to the.
Maybe I will. I don't need to because I asked questions during and got my answers.
No, that was phenomenal. What she's doing. That's just
She and Justin.
she and Justin. Don't mean to leave him out. I don't know.
Hi, Justin. Well, I don't either.
but yeah.
I Facebook know him. He doesn't know me at all.
So you're a stalker.
I'm a creeper.
Creeper. Okay, fine. Dawn and Justin, what you guys are doing is absolutely
And Luann helping out.
inspiring. Luann, hi. such lovely memories of you. You're so cool. Yeah. So that I'm in awe.
What was that?
I'm in awe of so many people we get to talk to. Like she's doing so much and like
That's
giving
why
back
I
so much.
That's why I love doing this podcast. I mean, honestly, you guys, everyone has been phenomenal. This has been so cool.
Agreed.
We've gotten to talk with people we haven't spoken with in decades.
Yeah.
We've gotten to meet new people and then learn things. It's really kind of crazy if you look at it and look at how many amazing people are in your life. You don't realize it.
You really don't.
But you're surrounded.
Unless you decide to make a podcast and ask them to come on it. And then you get to realize
that we must be really cool to know this many cool people. Oh. Or not.
Well, no, I was sitting there thinking, I was like, I think the majority of people that have been invited on was through you. so maybe
I'm cool.
I think I'm just the sidekick. I think I just realized that. Oh, little sister syndrome. Wah, wah, wah.
Always following me around everywhere.
Whatevs.
Okay.
Anyway, thank you, Dawn, so much for coming on. That was amazing listening to you, and I had no idea. I see some of your Facebook posts, but some of them are confusing to me, mostly because I read them. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And
it's hard to when you put it all together, it makes more sense.
It makes a lot more sense.
Thank all of you guys for listening. one more time. I'm going to reiterate a lot of stuff that I always reiterate. But Jamie's still looking for a donor. She's making TikToks now, so look for those. She's so funny and adorable. Let's see. Rachel and Ray are still doing their fundraiser for the Yes Foundation. $25 gets you in for a raffle for NFL swag. Hetty is in rehab now and working hard and making progress. I'm sure it's not as fast as she would like, but she is making progress. So continued happy thoughts and prayers for them. And I haven't plugged Ryan's book in a while. So if you're bored, you get finished with binging our podcast and you have nothing left to do until our next episode that drops next week, grab a copy of Gravity Drive and read that.
Mm-hmm. Or binge Candy on Hulu. So good. I binged it. So good.
Or binge Stranger Things on Netflix.
Or finish the last season of Ozark.
Or Inventing Anna. I have I'm naming everything that's on my continue watching list.
Yeah. There's some other stuff I can't think of either.
I have a lot. Okay. But thank you for listening. And we want to hear from you.
Yeah.
Seriously, guys, we love getting feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Give it to us. The good, the not as good. I don't want to say bad because I don't want to make Jessica cry.
Why would I cry?
Because you always cry.
Oh, no, I don't cry at constructive criticism. I mean, if you're just going to be mean, then I just get mad, but I don't cry at constructive criticism.
Okay. But yeah, give us some feedback. We'll take it. We need some ratings, guys. It makes us feel excited. It keeps our energy going to keep making these. No, mine is there. You need the boost. Jessica needs the boost to keep this going. You don't want to listen to me do this by myself, guys. I don't live off the ratings, though. I live off of Jessica. We have to do another podcast this week. Again, little sister syndrome. Yes, big sister. I will. But it makes it fun for us. So if you guys don't mind, give us some feedback. Yeah, absolutely. And if you have a situation or whatever, or if you know someone that, if you know someone that has one. Sorry. If you know somebody that has a situation, get them to send us their story or get them to let you tell us it. Yeah. Remember, guys, you don't actually have to come on yourselves if you have a fear of speaking. To Jessica? To me? Because you just said you get mean. I just said I get mean if people. I get mad if people are mean. I don't like mean people. But if you can always write it in, and we'll read it, or you can come talk to us too. Okay, we're talking a lot. Nobody wants to hear us anymore. Thanks, everybody. Thank you. Bye. Goodbye.
If you would like to reach out to us or submit your situation, please contact us at anothersituationpodcast@gmail.com or find us on Instagram at Another Situation Podcast. We're also on Facebook at Another Situation. Another Situation is produced and edited by Point 5 Pinoy. Music is written and performed by Tim Crow.